Hi, friends. Welcome back to Ellie and Betty's parenting episode. I am Betty. I am a recovering perfectionist and a proud mom of two awesome neurodivergent kids. And I'm coming in today with a lot of gratitude in my heart. We cannot wait to share the details of what we've been creating together. Ellie, can you tell the viewers a little bit more about you and how are you feeling coming into this episode today?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ellie, preschool teacher turned parent coach, and I'm very excited to share our new offering that we have for you guys today. We are actually going to be hosting an online small group where me and Betty are going to be co-coaching together. So we're going to be giving you the best of both worlds. Like Betty said, she comes from the background of raising two kids. She's really gone through this transformation in the perspective of the teenage years and neurodivergent brains. um, and I have child development background and really that focus on the preschool age. So we want to bring the best of both worlds to you and offer an experience that's going to be really transformational, that's going to allow you to connect with other parents who are really in a similar mindset as you. And we're going to do it all together.
Yes, I love that you said that. We are trying to bring the full spectrum to you guys. So I'm very excited to tell you a little more about what we are cooking together. But first, you mentioned already the word group coaching, right? And today's episode is about how we grow in community, how community help us develop and grow, and having a strong community is going to help us get even further in our transformation story. So I wanted to talk to you about more. What is group coaching? Ellie, when you say group coaching, I know some people have questions. What would you tell them? How would you describe it?
Yeah, so the way group coaching works is obviously we're going to be in a group. In our situation, it's going to be a really small group. So we're capping this group at 6 people. It's very limited spots, which means if you want it, you got to get in and grab one of those spots. But having that small group will allow us to really have a intimate vibe. Um, and we all get to come and share our experiences. So this is an opportunity for you to be a little bit vulnerable, and in that vulnerability, we'll be making relationships, we'll be connecting together and helping each other grow. So a little bit different from one-on-one coaching, where you're really only going to be seeing your perspective, sharing your perspective, and getting all of the attention from the coach on you. In small group coaching, you get to hear different perspectives. You're going to see a lot of your own experiences reflected in other group members. And you're also going to see things that feel the total opposite of your experience. And it's going to get your gears turning a little bit more than it might in one-on-one coaching. Um, and then you get two different coaches. So there's that aspect too. That's again going to be a little different from one-on-one coaching. And we'll get a little bit more into kind of how that plays out and how what's a better fit for you. Is it small group coaching? Is it one-on-one? It's going to be different for everyone. um, Me and Betty, we had a really great experience of small group coaching together, which is why we feel so called to offer this to you. And I think Betty wants to share a little bit more about how that was for us.
Yes, and I just wanna go also back when you mentioned like group coaching is a guided circle. We're there for the guys. We're gonna keep it between that, 6 people, no more than 6 people, because even though we want to explore the opening our perspectives, we still want to have that feeling that you're gonna be heard and that your story is gonna be there, and it's gonna matter. And we're gonna be able to do that, keeping our circle a little smaller this time. We're gonna be learning a concept or tool, and then we're gonna practice it in real time and reflect together. When in one-on-one coaching, like Ellie was mentioning, it's like a flashlight on your unique story. And then in group coaching, we are going to flip the stadium lights, right? We're gonna we're gonna be in this container where someone else's story might spark an idea that you have never maybe have thought. And it could even be something where they are making realizations that you can say, oh, that's also happening in my, in my world. They might be practicing a way, or sharing a win of how they communicated with their kid better this week, and you'll be like, oh, maybe I can use that this time. Whereas, like Ellie was mentioning, it could also be somebody that the raising style is completely different than yours, but we're gonna strengthen the belief that we all have our own answers and we know what's best for our kids. And it's not about us trying to impose a specific type of parenting on anybody. This is going to strengthen that belief that we have, where we are just trying to amplify your own value. This is not about us. We're gonna be the guys, but if everyone bringing their own story and still being able to get that transformation, is definitely gonna show everybody that this is about the feeling, the connection that you get in your family, and not about everybody doing the same thing. And I know that Ellie and me believe in this so much because, and I'll give you a little origin story for when we met. When we first started in our JAI certification, right, there were many hopeful faces in that first Zoom, but then I had the blessing of being matchmaked by by the universe into a small cohort. So we had our main instruction with our coach, and then we had a small group cohort. In our case, it was 3 people, then turned to 4. We will share experiences, right? Go a little bit deeper and practice the tools that now we teach. And somewhere between the role playing, the reflective listening, and all of the aha moments that we had together, I do remember with a lot of love that Ellie and me will usually get those, oh my God, it's, the way you said it, it made it make sense to me. So we know the power of somebody else reflecting what you're saying and helping you through this, transformation journey. That it's like, wow, if I hadn't heard that person say it that way, it wouldn't have clicked in my head the way it did. And the great thing about this group that we are doing is that Ellie brings a decade of early childhood experience, and she has a laser focus on every child's potential. She has that ability to see things from the outside perspective. Moms, we see it with a lot of emotion, right? We are living it, we're right in the trenches. And Ellie brings that big, outside perspective of, this might be the reason why it's happening. She sees needs in the kids that maybe us in the trenches can't see. And then I come in from the other end as a seasoned mom. I have an 8-year-old and a 15-year-old who are both neurodivergent. And then I have ADHD too. So this is a roller coaster in my life. I've been there. I've had the transformation in my life and in my family. So I come from that area of, this is how it works in real life, right? This is how you can bring it in with your kids. And together we cover this amazing spectrum of knowing what are the things that are going to help us in the brain in the brain part, right? In the concept part. And then we're also going to bring a lot of, this is how you make it work at home. Together we cover the journey from the first tantrums to the very feared teen outbursts and mood swings. So, over the past year, together, we've shared resources. We've done a lot of YouTube episodes like this one and dozens of joint brainstorming sessions. We've created such a great rapport between us, a very safe and respected space where we are able to share resources, share ideas. So, we have created the community between us, and right now, I feel like we're just expanding that community to everybody else so they can experience the transformation with us. And I'm so excited. I love Ellie's calm curiosity, and then I'm more down to earth, let's try it tonight, chaotic energy. So we balance each other greatly. What do you think? What do you think, Ellie?
I agree. And I just want to hit on that community aspect again, because we met each other, like you said, through doing the JI certification. And because that was the foundation of our relationship, we now have these ways of relating and communicating that are baked into our relationship. So when we talk, we're always active listening, reflective listening. We're always like giving that new perspective, and we're listening without judging. We're not trying to fix each other's problems. We're not trying to swoop in and save the day, but we can actually just be present for each other, which is just so, so needed. And it can be really hard to do. And to have somebody in your life where that is the only relation that you've ever known is really powerful. And the fact that that's continued long since we've been finished the program is really special. And so that's what we want for all of you. We want you to find those parents that you connect with and be able to like call them after an awful day where everyone was screaming at each other and just nothing went right and everyone's having tantrums, and you've about had it, and you just need to pick up the phone and vent to somebody and not have them say, "Oh, well, did you try this? I saw a TikTok video where someone did this. So, oh, you should have done this." All you need is someone to listen to you. And you know that this member from our group is going to be that person, and they're just going to listen to you. They're not going to judge you because you've shared this space together where you have this really safe, respectful way of relating, and you both have had the freedom to come into this group and stand strong in your own values and in your own way that you want to parent your children. And that may look different, but you know how to respect each other in that and to allow you just to be in what you are.
Yeah, no, and I want to share a very vulnerable moment from today. I think this is the right time to share this. But right before we started recording this episode, a little bit before, I texted Ellie like, "Hey Ellie, I've had an awful day. Like today has not been the day that I planned for sure. I'm ready. Like I'm dressed. We can do it." But I just wanted to give you a heads up that I've been in a funk all day and I haven't been able to kick it out. And Ellie said, "You know what? I get it. I've had a long day too. My day has been really rough. How about we jump in a few minutes before we're gonna record and let's talk about it. Let's see how we feel." And that, like, no pressure. I mean, we have the commitment to come in and do it because we know how important it is to us to get the message out there that we have this incredible opportunity. But we were very vulnerable and open with each other into saying, "You know what, today my energy might not be at what I want it to be when we do this." But if magically, right, the power of community and supporting each other. After our talk, we went over it, and then I'm feeling energized. I know that every time that I talk to Ellie, I always tell her, "You're like my little energy when we get together and our brains start firing it up." I love it. We have the best
Mm-hmm.
brainstorming sessions. And it was like that. It was a sense of co-regulation, which is a technique and a tool that we go over in the coaching. And we kind of did a little, digital or in not in person co-regulation
Mm-hmm.
time where we were able to get each other up to doing this and getting the message out there. And I think that was so powerful that we're here.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I agree 100%. And
Yeah,
it's
and then
so,
talking about clicking, and I wanted to mention that in our case, Ellie, I've always noticed that we're different from each other, right? Our techniques, maybe even our mannerisms, the way we relate, our backgrounds are very different, and I wouldn't say that we fit. Like I wouldn't even have expected us to fit,
mm-hmm.
but somehow we click. And I think that is even more important than, do we fit? Are we the same? Is the magic of we just made that click.
Yeah. And it's the power of this group that you wouldn't meet these people anywhere else. You might not gravitate towards them naturally, but when you take the leap and you say, "I'm going to do this small group parent coaching, like let's do it." And you just never know who you're going to meet and whether they might end up becoming a lifelong friend.
Yeah.
And we can all
I
use
hope,
another
yeah.
friend.
Definitely. I'm actually very excited. I've seen the power of community in my life. When I first moved to where I live now, I work from home, so I'm always here. And I will try to, kind of make a friend here and there, meaning like my kids' friends, like let's do a play date or something. But it wasn't there. I really wasn't putting in an effort. And from the moment that I consciously decided that I needed more community in my life. I needed that tribe that everybody's talking about. And I put myself out there. Let me get into this Facebook group, which is the McDonough moms. I hope they're listening because I love the McDonough moms. These are my girls. And I've been doing, this events. Let's go here. Tomorrow we have a little back to school brunch. I'm so excited. And then we had a back to school event a few weeks ago that you might have seen on my Instagram. And me getting there, oh, wow, it has opened up so much in me, so much joy. And I want that. I want to create that space for moms that are in the trenches, that because obviously the McDonough moms is a huge group. Everybody has different interests, and they're there for different reasons. And but it's very magical. So I want to bring in, I think we want to bring in that same magic of community that can form, but when you have something even more in common. Now we're parents that have realized that what we've been doing up to this point, maybe it's not working. Maybe at the end of the day, I don't feel as great as I want to feel in my parenting. And you've been looking for those kind of parents, and like Ellie mentioned, not somebody that will just say, "Oh, I watched this on TikTok," or "Oh, you need to take their phone away. You just need to be more strict. This is what I do with my kids." But somebody that's actually a listening ear, somebody that actually respects that you have different values than they do. That because it happens in a way in their home, that's not the way it has to happen in yours. But you can both share experiences of how your life is working. And that's the kind of, I will say it again, the kind of magic, the kind of connection that we want to create with this group.
Absolutely. We all need a little more magic.
Yes.
And I'll touch on another reason that group coaching just works so well is we get to create a safe space for this connection, for this vulnerability. So the way we do this, because you might be listening and thinking like, oh my God, I'm not going to come into a group of strangers and like, share all my parenting secrets and anything like that. But we start out from day one, creating an environment that is based on mutual respect. It's based on safety. It's based on confidentiality. Everything that happens in the group stays in the group. We're not judging. We just listen, right? We're all there. We don't want to be judged. And so we're also not judging, right? We're practicing that, and that goes both ways. And these are agreements that we come back to every single session to remind ourselves, to remind each other why we're here, what our purpose is. And it's very intentional, right? We're not going to come into session and just, let one person just, vent the entire time. And we're all sitting there like, oh my God, right? It's very structured where we all get to take turns. We all get to share. We all get to be heard. And we are all going to practice both giving and receiving, that listening, that space, that just being held, being seen, being understood.
Definitely. And it's something like you mentioned, we are gonna practice a lot of that reflective listening, which it is the magic sauce, right? The special sauce in all of the connection in all the work that we do. If there's one tool that you can get, that you can learn and take with you and roll with it and not learn anything else, reflective listening will take you really far. And
Absolutely.
being able to practice it with other adults, not only the kids, you're gonna practice it with the kids at home, but practicing it with other adults, I know in my life that has changed my life so much.
Mhm.
Even my friendships. I will say like before, I'm the type of person that naturally people come to me to vent, right? And I will be the friend. I'm at fault here. I will be the friend inserting my narrative. into that. I could blame my ADHD, but let's be real, I just didn't know how to do it differently. And I will tell you my experience and how I will do it, and I will be inserting myself a lot in your story. And I came to realize that what I wasn't holding the space that that other person needed. Yes, they were coming to vent, but maybe they left feeling a little judged and a little icky because why is Betty talking about herself in this, in this? And they weren't getting to answer their own questions, in the sense that I feel like everybody, you have the answer within you. You just need a little guide. They were leaving with my voice instead of theirs. I wasn't amplifying their voice. I was putting mine in there. So this reflective listening in a group with other adults, in a control setting, right, where we have a coach that's guiding us, helped me marvelously in my adult life and with other people and in all of my relationships, because now I'm able to actually hold space for that other person. And in return, people hold better space for me too. And it has been a lot more fulfilling. Having that tool in my life has made my life definitely more fulfilling, and I feel even my friendships a lot stronger.
Yeah, it really sets the tone for deeper connection and more present mindfulness in all of your relationships, which just feels good.
Hmm.
It just
I
does.
love that you said the mindfulness, right? It forces you to listen. Not like run all of the list in your head what the other person
Hmm.
is stuck in. It kind of, it puts you in the spot of having to actually listen to be able to reflect what they just said. So
Yeah.
that's great. Yeah. And Ellie, what will you say to people that are like, I don't know if group coaching is for me. I know there's some common fears
Hmm.
and blocks that people might have with the concept of group coaching.
Yeah. So I would say it really depends on you, right? So take this all in, see what sits in your heart. And me and Betty were both available for group coaching and one-on-one coaching. As well as couples, right? You can do it with your co-parent, with your spouse. Um, and some people may just think, I'm not a group person. And for me, I'm in that camp. I'm not a group person. I don't want to share in front of all these people. Like, that's way too scary. No thanks. I'd rather be one on one. But I took the leap and I did the JI certification anyways, even though it was in a group format. And for us, this was a way bigger group. This was maybe almost 20 people. Um,
Hmm.
and I would say maybe you just haven't been in the right group yet.
Hmm.
There's a difference between, maybe a group at a party or a group, being in the PTA, right, and participating in that at the school, than being in a coaching setting where things are a little bit more structured. We have these ground rules, these group agreements, um, and we have certain ways of relating to each other that is the standard. It really sets you up to feel safe and to slowly be able to share in a way that feels good for you. You don't have to be the person who's going to share your whole life story on day one, right? That's fine.
Hmm.
You don't even have to share on day one if you don't want to. But you can take that time to slowly get to know the people, which again is why we're keeping it really small, 6 people max, so that you can feel safe and just feel comfortable to really open up in your own time. And I would
Yeah, and
also,
you never know. I'm sorry, Ellie, I interrupted you. I wanted to add that, and you never know if your story might be the puzzle piece that somebody else needs, or the
mm-hmm,
other way around, right? That other person, maybe you are not sharing that day, but that other person's story is that puzzle piece that you needed in yours.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going to go. Um, it can just complete the puzzle for you because you get to see these other perspectives. You get to see yourself and other people, and then you also get to see maybe different people from your life reflected in some of the group members. You might even be able to understand your spouse better after this because maybe there's a group member who really comes from a similar perspective as your spouse. And up until this point, you're like, I don't get, why do they want to parent our kids this way? Why do they act this way? Why do they talk this way? Oh my gosh, just don't understand. And this container can really create a safe space for you to start to see these little patterns, understand them, and then slowly start to make those connections of like, oh, that reminds me of this person. And now I understand them just a little bit better. And it opens up a space in your heart where you can not react, but you can actually sit and pause and reflect first before you act. Um, Another fear that someone might have about small group coaching is I won't get enough individual attention. And again, you might not need it, right? You might be able to take that lesson from somebody else's perspective, from their share, and witnessing that might be exactly what you need. You also will get plenty of one on one attention. You will get one on one coaching in every session. The perk of having both of us, we're going to be co coaching in this small group. And so we can break up into even smaller groups, right? We're already starting in 6, but we can break out into partners or into 3 and 3. And now you can really get that one-on-one time, because me and Betty can both jump into those small groups to coach you. Um, Also, maybe again, you're thinking this isn't private enough. And for some people, that may be true, especially if maybe you're going through a really tough divorce situation or custody situation. Maybe you were going through like capital T trauma or healing from capital T trauma. And these would be things that would be a little too much for a group experience, and you need a little bit more of that sensitivity, a little more of that time and space just for you to be able to move through those things. So that's really something that you need to take into your heart and consider what's going to serve you the best. And again, these groups are based in confidentiality. Everything stays in the group, right? So if it's that fear of being vulnerable, this could be the baby step to being a little bit more vulnerable, to opening up in this place where we've all agreed that we're not sharing anything that happens here. We're not judging. We're just here. We're all here to improve ourselves, to improve our families. Um, and as we grow our,
We're only moving. I'm sorry. And we're only moving as fast as the slowest part of you feels safe, right?
yeah,
So that makes the container more secure. We're moving at
yeah.
your pace.
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. We only go as fast as the slowest part of you feels safe going. So you have the freedom, the permission to listen to that part in you that is like, this is too much right now. And you get to let that part just be there until it relaxes and feels safe. And then you can move forward. This is not a race. We're not rushing anyone. We don't all need to go at the same pace. There's a reason this program is 12 weeks because that is the amount of time that it takes for real change to happen. And real change only happens when we feel safe as we're going through it. And when our nervous systems are calm enough to actually take it in, internalize it, and really learn it in the body and not just in the mind. And another question that people ask a lot is, do I need to do this with my spouse or with my co-parent? The answer is no. You don't have to. You can. And again, this is up to every family. I know Betty, she shared that she had a really, kind of interesting, fun transformation that she was able to see happen as she was going through the program, and her husband was not. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, he is my poster child. We joke about this all the time. He is one of the most skeptical persons I know, if not the most, and he has been skeptically using all of the tools. And one thing I will tell you, especially with my 8-year-old, he's very sensitive to the way you speak, tone, etc. And there will come moments where I remember that he will just lose it. Like they will be having conversations, and my 8-year-old was losing it, and then coming to me and asked. as he was learning by example, again, he was not in the program. He made it very clear in the beginning that he didn't want me like shoving information or like expecting him to make these changes with me. So it was more of he was observing what I was doing, seeing what he was, getting work. I remember even telling him at some point, like, don't let your message get lost by the tone, right? By the way you say it. And I will, and I was practicing, especially with him also, all of that reflective listening. I think it was all more as an example, and now, oh wow, like there's moments when I'm over here, like, do you see that? Like after it happens, and he always puts this face that, oh yeah, I know. Like, I guess it worked. But the funny thing to me is that I have to tell him, like, do you see how you handle that? That I don't have to come in and guide him in any sense. Like he is in there and doing it, and the communication between him and my son has changed so much. I was my son's like safe space. I remember one time he was planning a balloon ride, and we were in the car and he's planning his balloon ride and talking to me and all that, and then he goes and he tells my husband, I don't think the balloon can hold us, all of us, so I think you're gonna have to find your own balloon.
Oh.
Right? Yes. And then these days it's like, Mama, I'm sorry, but this is something for us to do. It's gonna be
Oh.
like an us day. And I'm like, is the balloon all over again? But now I'm the one getting kicked out of the balloon. So if I can say, like, yes, it works for your partner, even if they're not there, it does. It definitely does. I think it causes this ripple effect in the whole family, where you are going to see transformation. It's just like the kids, right? We're the one making the changes, but the kids you're going to see the difference in the behavior and the way you communicate. Same thing happens with your partner. It
Yeah.
does create that ripple effect.
The people around you follow your lead.
Yes.
Most
Hmm.
most notably your children, right? Because obviously they're looking to you all the time to see, how should I react and how should I behave and all these things. But it does end up happening on a little bit, maybe a little bit lesser scale, but with the other people in your life too. And I guess we would say, who is this group for? Which you touched on it a
Hmm.
little bit before. And we like to say this is for every parent. I think a lot of people hear the words parent coaching and they think, oh, that sounds really cool, but it's for bad parents. And my answer
Mm-hmm.
to that is no. And if you're getting parent coaching, it does not mean you're a bad parent. It means that you are dedicated to improving yourself for your children, because we can only do as good as we know how to do, right? And when we know better, we do better. And so this is you taking a little bit of time, a little bit of energy to do better. Because what's more important than to do better for our kids? Like, what else is more important to put our time and our energy into, right? And it doesn't mean that you were doing a bad job before. You were just doing what you knew with the resources you had. And that doesn't mean it has to stay like that forever. And for me, I think going through this program really, it just brings so much more connection and joy and ease back into parenting. And so if that's something that's lacking for you, that you're not feeling in your parenting, this is for you. We want you to feel the joy with your children, not just once a month, not just, this tiny fleeting moment in a week. We want you to have these moments of joy every single day, and to let those moments of joy start taking up more and more space in the time that you spend with your kids, because they're only kids once. And
Yeah.
the relationship that you build with your kids, it lasts the lifetime, right? So, if you dream of being, friends with your kids when they're older and, having a great relationship and still being able to hang out with them and go on vacation together when they're adults, that starts now. And so this is right now is the foundation of that relationship. Um, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is. This is definitely for. I will say. I think I heard somebody. No, I think I'm a bad parent, and it's like bad parents don't think about them being bad parents, right? But in reality, to me, there's not such thing as you're not doing anything necessarily wrong. But like Ellie mentioned, you might not feel as joyful as you should. I meet a lot of moms that have lost themselves, and I was one of them, lost themselves in the role. That everything, this is even for the parents that do absolutely everything for their family. And at the end of the day, they just feel drained and overwhelmed. And they see everything that they're doing and they're thinking, why does this doesn't feel enough?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't I feel fulfilled in my role? Why is it that I can just sit and enjoy this moment with my kids instead of worrying about all of the chores that haven't gotten done? And this program helps you put your needs first too. This program definitely helps the parent realize that I am an important piece of this family. And we've heard many times before, we can't pour from an empty cup, right? We have to, and then we are coming from a moment that this helps you fill your cup, that you can overflow it into your
Yeah.
family. This is for the parents that have been taken from that negative, right? Negative, always on the negative, in the energy and in the joy.
Mm-hmm.
And we are gonna tell you how to identify, things in the way you communicate. Yes, in the neuroscience, and I'll go a little bit more about what we're gonna be looking at in the next few weeks. But most important part is going to put you in a position where you're gonna have to reconnect with yourself.
Yeah. Because when you connect with yourself, the more you can connect with your children. And that's what they want from you the most. That's what they need from you is your connection, which really
Yeah.
is how we start out the program. Is just all
Yeah,
based on connection.
definitely. And then if I can take them right a little bit through the journey that they're going
Mm-hmm.
to be going through in these programs, the first 3 weeks are the foundation, right? And we start with intention. We believe in intention. This program is about intentionality, right? We need to be intentional with everything that we do. And we start with that. What are your intentions as a parent? Who's the parent that you want to be? How do you see the relationship with your kids when they move out of the house? How do you want to feel in your everyday? And that's gonna be our foundation. We're gonna talk about our 10 pillars, right? We're building a house, and we're building the foundation in those first 3 weeks. We talk about attachment science, which is a very popular concept in the internet, but people haven't people don't really go deep into what is the attachment science, how attachment really affects the way that we communicate and we relate to each other inside the family. And then from there, weeks 4 to 6, we get that's my favorite part, because we get into the nerdy part. We get into nervous system, and we get into mind side and brain science. And these are concepts that sound very complicated, and indeed they are. This has been years of research, and we have that it's backed by science. But the way we present it is so approachable. Anybody, no, you don't need to have a science degree to be able to understand these concepts. We're gonna put them in a way that it's gonna be the most aha time. Usually is between those 4 to 6, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is why this is happening. Because
Yeah.
the brain science and nervous system science explains basically everything that's happening. And then from there, we get more settled. And from week 7 to 9, we do emotional intelligence, empower conversation, values align boundaries, which is what we want, right? We want to impart these values into our kids. First, we need to know what values they are, right? What are the values that are important to me? What are the values that are important to us as a family? And what are the boundaries that we're going to put together so those values are the core of who we are in our family. And that's the part where the collaboration comes, because now your no's don't come out of because I said so. Now your no's are gonna come on a base on a value. They're gonna be the values are gonna carry the decisions that you make for your family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really how they learn it. And then as we come to an end, and this happens so quickly, you'll be so surprised. Before you know it, we're going to be in week 10 to 12. And one of the things that we go into week 10 is a taboo concept, and it's anger. We dedicate a whole week talking about anger and about how anger is actually the emotion that loves you the most, the one, that needs to get out. How do I work with this emotion that people fear so much but can be so powerful in the sense of making changes and transforming. And then we go into, I think this is one of Ellie's favorite subjects, playful parenting.
Mm-hmm.
How do you show up in a playful way? How do you turn moments of stress and friction in your family, and you put in a little playfulness, and things just lighten up, right? In them. And then we end with a full integration, and we celebrate. We celebrate. I think we that dedicating one week just to celebrate how far we've come is the best thing, because we make sure that we're integrating all of these concepts as we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of the sudden, we are the last week, and we get to look back. We get to look back at those intentions that you had at first, and how you've been able to actually set those intentions into action. And we make a plan for what happens next. So it's, if you're expecting any side effects from this program, you can expect more compassion, more patience, more joyful connection, right? And I know that Ellie grounds in the child development why, right? You bring that why,
Mm-hmm.
and then I bring the how we put it in the real world. So we, in this 12 weeks together, we create that modern day village that you've been craving so much.
Absolutely. And now is the perfect time for you to join our small group, because we're going to be starting right around back to school time. And this is going to take us right up to the week before Thanksgiving. So if you are experiencing summer break with your kids right now and you are counting down the minutes until school starts again, this is for you. And we want you to get to Thanksgiving and to actually enjoy the holidays with your kids. They will only be this age for one Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever holidays that you celebrate. They will only be this age this year. And we want you to have that space and to have that collaboration with them so that you can all enjoy it together and make those core memories, instead of feeling like, oh, we're rushing around and we're trying to do all the things and the kids are losing their minds, but we have to do the things because, oh my gosh, it's the holidays. And then no one has fun, right? We want this to be a different holiday season for you. Um, and so this is it. It only takes 12 weeks. It's just 12 weeks. And like Betty said, it goes so fast, and you will probably not want it to be over once we get to the 12 weeks. I know I was so sad when it ended. I was like, can I just do this again?
Yeah.
Can I re-enroll? Um,
Yes, no, definitely. And the thing with this, like we mentioned before about being intentional. Ellie and me have been very intentional with the dates that we chose to start and to end. We want to take this time that, is a time where we're adapting to that first semester in school too, when the kids are out, and we want to roll into that Thanksgiving when we're feeling, the gratefulness in our hearts. And this year you'll have even more to celebrate and to be thankful for. I guarantee it that it's gonna
Absolutely.
make the holidays even better than they usually are. Yes.
Yeah. And not just these holidays, but the holidays to come. I wanted to share a testimonial that I received from a client who she has now been over a year since I've worked with her. So she went through the 12 weeks with me. We did the whole program, and it's been a year. We haven't done any coaching together since then. And the transformation is lasting. It sticks with you, which is the magic of this program. Um, and so she is a mom of two, and she says, my biggest takeaway from the transformational parenting program is remembering my children are contributing members of our family, and to help remind the outside world they also deserve to take up space. My kids love to work towards no yelling days, but when we do yell, apologies come from all parties because we want to, not because we have to. As the parent, I'm able to take a breath more often and remember that they are still growing. The outbursts, meltdowns, and big feelings are all part of that. I'm so grateful I allowed myself the space, time, and vulnerability it took to be coached. I'm a stronger person, a more compassionate mom, and a happier contributing member to my family. Thank you.
Yes, I love that review. When I read it, it spoke to me so much, especially in the part where she says, we are working towards no yelling day. And when they happen, and I love that she mentioned that
Mhm.
the imperfection of it all, because it doesn't take away from the joy that that she's feeling right now. It doesn't take away from the fact that she has opened up her mind to know that her kids are important in their family and to the world too. And I love that she mentioned that it's not just about, oh no, now we don't yell and everything is perfect. We
Mm-hmm.
can never promise that, but we can promise you that we are gonna get so good at repair,
Yeah.
so good at repair that you're actually even gonna want those moments where you mess up. I know I learn a lot from the moments that I mess up, and it
Mm-hmm.
sounds like for your client, those moments are as valuable as all of the others. Now
Yeah.
she wants to. They want to apologize. They realize what they've done, and they want to repair, and that's just
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if
So,
your God is saying yes, I don't know about you, Ellie, but if you're right, if their God is saying yes, I need this. This is exactly the transformation that I'm looking for. I will say schedule an enrollment call, and I want to go into a little bit what is an enrollment call. We are going to take the time to sit with each one of the people that are interested, and let's hear your story. We want to hear your story. We want to see if we can actually be of value in your life, because to us this is not just about enrolling people here and let's see what happens. We really want to work with parents that we know we can bring value into their lives and what's happening. That call is also gonna help us determine if group coaching is actually right for you, or if you might want to do some one-on-one coaching. And I know Ellie wants to talk about a little more about the enrollment call process and things that we have planned for you guys. Yes.
yeah, so you'll be able to schedule your enrollment call. It's totally free, it's no pressure. Like Betty said, we want it to be a good fit for both of us, for the whole group. So if it's not a fit, we let you go. We're not going to pressure you, to try to get you to enroll if it doesn't feel right. But you can schedule an enrollment call with either one of us. We're going to be co-coaching in this group, like we said before. So you'll get to work with both of us. It doesn't matter who you do your enrollment call with. It'll be the same process. Um, and you'll do that. And then if we do decide it's a good fit and we're ready to move forward, we'll get you enrolled. You'll sign the client agreement. You'll make your payment, and then we will send you your login where you'll go. It'll be on the Giant Institute of Parenting, where you'll get the 12-week curriculum, and you'll have lifetime access to that. So you'll have your own login. You can download the workbooks, you can fill them out on your computer, you can print them out. You'll have videos that you can watch, and you'll always be able to return to that anytime that you need. It will always be there for you. And then we also do have an exciting discount that we'll be giving to the first 3 people to enroll out of the 6. So if this feels like a yes to you, if you know in your heart that this is what you've been waiting for, that this is going to just allow you to make that growth, that change that you've been waiting to see in your family, don't wait. Sign up now, schedule your
Mhm.
enrollment call, and get enrolled so we can offer you that discount for those first 3 people. And I don't know if we said the dates already yet, but I will do that now. So the first session will be on Thursday, August 28th. We will meet every Thursday at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And that will go for 12 weeks. We will have 1 week off, and then our last session will be November 20th. So again, it will be right before Thanksgiving. It'll take us through the fall, through that back to school season, getting back in routines, getting comfortable, and we'll be able to integrate all of that new learning, new changes that you want to make along the way.
Yes, this is the time. This is definitely the time to get in. There's nothing to lose really about having a conversation with us. So even if you're a little curious, I will say jump in the call. Jump in the call, not because we're going to convince you, but because maybe there are things that we didn't talk about, in this time. Maybe there were questions that you had that we weren't able to address. And then we can talk a little bit deeper into what that will look like for you. Maybe the dates don't work for you and you would like to see if there are other options, but I'm sure that the call will be of a lot of benefit for everyone, not only if you're absolutely sure right now, if you are on the fence,
Mhm.
let's schedule that curiosity call
Yeah.
for us to actually be able to answer your questions. And we're going to have a live Q&A very soon. We're going to announce the date with questions. You can come in, connect with us. We'll also be collecting frequently asked questions from the people that we have done curiosity calls with, so we can address those as a group, right, in a live Q&A. And I'm just super excited. I'm very hopeful for the things that we are going to experience during this journey. I know for myself that every time that we coach and we go through the program again with other people, we discover something else.
Yeah.
No matter how many times like you already visited this concept, you can
Mm-hmm.
go in a little bit deeper and you see things in a different perspective. So I'm very excited to put in a group together where we are going to connect, we are going to build trust, and we're going to build community.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it perfectly. Well, we will get back to everyone on that live Q&A session. And I did not mention we are in Eastern Standard Time Zone, so it'll be 8 o'clock EST. Um, and until we see you next time, have
Yes, it
fun
was great
parenting.
seeing you guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.